Okay, I'm sure there's like 101 bolo lists that you can find on YouTube, but let's talk about a no-no list. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Danica. I'm a part-time reseller. I live in Calgary, Alberta in Canada, and I sell on Poshmark US, Poshmark Canada, and eBay. And today's video, as I said in the intro, is a anti-bolo list. These are the brands that I am leaving behind starting now, brands that I used to grab and now I'm just like, they don't sell for me. So I will be leaving these at the thrift store when I see them. Of course, there are some exceptions, but for the most part, these are the 10 brands I'm leaving behind moving forward. The first brand is American Eagle. I don't know when this started, but I started grabbing like all the American Eagle that I could find. I think it's probably when I started going to the bins and it was just like so cheap, and they make cute clothes, but I've mentioned this before. My goal for this year, 2023, is to transition away from being a volume seller and more to a higher ASP seller, average sales price. And American Eagle just does not fit in that business model for me personally. I'm sure there are some styles that would do well, but honestly, American Eagle, cute clothes, but the comps are absolute trash most of the time. I am not here anymore to be flipping $5-10 into like $15-20. I am looking for way higher sales prices this year. It gets complicated when I think about Aerie because I actually love buying and selling Aerie. It's one of my favorite brands to wear. I just think their clothes are flattering and comfortable and cute and cozy and all of those things. So probably I would still buy it for my personal use secondhand and then end up reselling it when I was done with it. But all in all, American Eagle and Aerie were breaking up. The next brand, this might be controversial actually, but the next brand on my list is Aritzia. And when it comes to Aritzia, it's me, it's not them. I am the problem. My issue with Aritzia is that I have not done enough research to know which brands, like sub-brands, and which styles are the ones worth grabbing. There are a lot of resellers who know that information and do really well selling Aritzia. I am not one of them, unfortunately for me. I wish it was something that I could get into. I just keep saying I will and then I don't. Just being honest. I don't know if like Wilfred is still in, if Wilfred Frye is still in, if Babaton, like I don't know what we're doing anymore with Aritzia. So I think like if I found like a wool coat at the thrift store, I would still look up comps, but my days of just being like, oh, this is Aritzia, it's going in my cart, are done. Even at the bins, because my issue is that I'm now bringing like 10-20 Aritzia items home, paying $10-20 for those items. And then that's like so many things that I have to list, and then they end up like not even really selling for much. Like Aritzia, the Aritzia that I buy, because I don't know anything about it, is selling for like $10-15 for me. If I get lucky, maybe 25, but for the most part, it's yeah, not great comps on my end. So maybe that's something that I can change this year, is actually looking into how much money can be made selling Aritzia items, because I'm sure that I'm leaving money on the table. 100%. I am leaving money at the thrift every day when it comes to Aritzia because I just don't know enough. The next brand on my list is Madewell. I don't even find it that much, but when I do, I feel like I don't find desirable pieces. And because I don't find it very often, then I am tempted to buy it because I'm like, I never find Madewell, so I need to buy it, whatever. And I have issues. So I think, yeah, moving forward, Madewell, you're cut. I do have a pair that I need to list still that I have sourced prior to this list being made, but I also always find like sweaters and shirts and they just don't sell that well for me. Maybe jeans, if they were a current style, I would still look up, but in general, not loving Madewell these days, not gonna lie. The next brand on my list, okay, I did not realize I was like, oh, what's the expression? I woke up the morning I made this list and chose violence, because the next thing on my list is Anthro brands. Again, a lot of people make a lot of money selling Anthro brands. I am not one of them. I don't know enough about them. This is something that I could also work on to expand my brand knowledge, my trend knowledge. All of my knowledge in terms of reselling could use a major overhaul. I would be the first to admit that. So maybe that is again something that I can work on this year, but as of right now, Anthro brands for me are just like, I feel like I'm just taking money and catching it on fire. I have a few Anthro pieces that I think are good in my closet, but it's just hard to say. Like, I don't know. I've talked about this in other videos before, but I didn't grow up like knowing brand names. When I became a teenager and started reading magazines, I like started to learn that there were brands outside of like what was sold in the Sears catalog, which is how we did a lot of our shopping growing up. But yeah, and then obviously that was like a while ago, so the brands then are not the same brands that are trendy now. So it's been a learning curve for me as a reseller of brand knowledge, for sure. That's something, probably one of the things that I continuously always have to work on. I think it's something that all resellers constantly have to work on because it's changing so quickly all the time. So yeah, Anthro brands for me. I should start going into the store and walking around and seeing what they have, but I just don't do it. Even going on the website, I guess I could do from home. Next on here is a Brunette the Label. I don't know what my attachment is to Brunette the Label, but I guess it has like cool girl vibes, and they're like, they were in years ago and I'm behind on my fashion, so maybe that's what it is, that I'm just like, oh, this is still in, and then it always takes forever to sell for me and sells for nothing. Like I can get like $15, $18, maybe $20 out of a sweatshirt. Again, that's not where I want my business to be going. I do not want to be making those small flips at all. I want to be making way more substantial flips. That is my huge goal. I keep saying it and saying it, I'm speaking it into existence. Higher ASP 2023, it's happening, mark my words. And one of the ways that I can do that is stop sourcing Brunette the Label. Although I still have one that I need to list. But anyway. Next, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is Citizens of Humanity and 7 for All Mankind. I put those together because to me they're like similar, luxury-ish. I wouldn't say they're luxury jean brands, premium jean brands, let's say that. I do have an exception here. I will still source dojos because those will sell for me quickly all the time for $60 to $75 every single time, as long as they're in good condition. So no more, you know, Citizens of Humanity rocket jeans, no more 7 for All Mankind, like whatever, I'm done. Which is weird because a couple years ago, Citizens of Humanity were like my biggest flips. I was like able to source them a retail arbitrage pretty easily for cheap-ish, and I was flipping them for like over $200. No, those days are over. I don't have any right now that are new with tags that are sitting stale in my closet, but I have a ton that are not new with tags, that are pre-owned, that are just sitting and sitting and sitting and sitting. They do not fetch the money that they used to, and I think we've just moved on from those brands. I think those are like kind of in the past until they come back in like 10 years, I guess, inevitably. We're in the last 3 of the list. The next one is Zara. Zara is a tough one because kind of like Aritzia, you need to know the ins and outs of which styles are making money. So when it comes to Zara, there are a lot of items that are like blogger favorites, and those will bring more money than just like regular Zara items. But again, I'm not like really in the blogger like world, so I don't really know which items those are. I've gotten lucky a couple times with sourcing items that, as I was researching them, I realized were blogger favorites. Do people still have blogs in 2023? Are we still blogging? Anyway, I guess it's like another way to say like influencer favorite or something. Next, number 2, if we go from 10 to 1. Second last, Danier. Danier is a Canadian leather goods company. I don't know if they're still in business, but they do like leather and suede, like bags, dresses, skirts, coats, all that kind of stuff. I think the vintage leather trend is just on its way out. I just don't see myself really sourcing it that much, although I made an eBay sale last night. I sold this Danier Western fringe skirt. Gorgeous. I need to ship that tomorrow, and like I made a decent amount on it. I got it at the bins for $1, and I think off the top of my head, without, I wish when I did that like the actual screenshot would show, but obviously I add that in after. But I think that it sold for like $50, maybe 55, maybe somewhere in there. So not bad. I mean, turning $1 into $50 is great, amazing, but that is not the norm for me when it comes to Danier. So I would just have to be way pickier, and I don't know. I've been like picking up coats because I thought that the leather coats would be doing really well, and they're just not. They're just sitting. They're sitting forever. So that being said, I think Danier and I are done. I'm leaving it in the past unless I come across like an amazing piece. But in general, Danier, done. Last, this is going to be controversial. I've said that every single item. But this is probably one of my favorite brands to sell. So the fact that it's on this list, this is rough for me. I'm gonna have to grieve this one a little bit because this brand is like a top seller for me. But this style I will not be buying anymore. I'm talking about Frye. Frye shoes specifically, I'm done. Frye boots, I will still buy. I will still pick up. Frye boots only. The shoes, they just don't sell for me. Like the sneakers, the pumps, that kind of stuff, I just cannot pick up anymore because it just sits and sits and sits and sits and it doesn't sell. So I need to just like let that go. I need to be very specific with what I'm picking up. I need to be so much more intentional with what I'm picking up. And I think that this list is something that I'm going to have in the back of my mind. I've been sourcing since I made this list and just once, and I was like, wow, just having put it down on like, well, electronic pen and paper made a big difference. It like avoided me making a few like not emotional purchases, but like impulse purchases. I was gonna get some like American Eagle, and I was like, what am I doing? This is on my no list, and like the style was not good enough for me to be like, well, okay, fine, just this one. So those are my 10 brands I'm leaving in the past for now, and I want to know what brands you're done with, what brands you've picked up in the past that you have decided to say sayonara, we're done, we're splitting up, see you never. Let me know in the comments what brands those are for you, and maybe we can compare notes. And if you disagree with any of these, let me know as well. I know that what sells for me doesn't sell for everyone else. What sells for everyone else does not sell for me. So this is not like a list that everyone should follow. It's not that black and white. There is just so much more that goes into these kinds of decisions. So again, let me know in the comments. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you do. Leave me a thumbs up before you go, and I will see you next time. Bye!